everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Two, where it's our show where we review things in the world of television, such as reviewing seasons that are currently airing brand new episodes live for our consumptions. And yeah, that's basically the spiel of it. We're back. It's Reacher, season 3. It's been a very not a terribly long time. I want to say we reviewed. I know season 1 came out in 2022, and then technically we've had Reacher content every single year, technically speaking. I think season 3, I'm trying to get my timetables correctly. Yeah, so if I remember correctly, we started in 2022, and then in the middle of the year, and then we got season 2 at the very end of 2023, and that carried over to 2024. So technically, we've always had Reacher episodes every year. It just felt like a while since season 2 ended, and thankfully they were already in the middle of filming season 3 when we were watching season 2. And since we've been away, they confirmed season 4 is on the way. We also confirmed that the world of Reacher will be expanding into a spinoff with Neegly, which both projects will hopefully be coming out within the next coming years. So we will have many more, much more Reacher content to enjoy as we progress forward with it. But with that being the case, here we are, season 3. It's been a while. It's been a very the place I work. I'm not trying to give too much specifics away my personal life too much. My workplace. I will say there are Amazon lockers that are prevalent there, and they put up these like sticky posters on there to promote their content. And I just see I see Alan Richardson's humongous figure with the Reacher logo and the backdrop of Maine, and it looks so great. It really does. It's like reminding me, oh right, Reacher's coming back. It's back. 8 episodes straight away. And I'm very excited to see where it's going to go. As of course, Prime as Reacher has like solidified itself as in Amazon Prime's core lineup, which is amazing to see. And like I said before, hopefully with the Neegly announcement that we will get many more seasons to come, as well as, again, there's many more books left to be adapted. I think we've only I think in the Reacher, like the vast media adaptation empire, I think we've only had 5, including the 2 Tom Cruise movies, now including this season. And I know there's over 20 books, so technically we have the core content to at least produce 10 more seasons of Reacher. And this one being, based on Persuader, which, again, I'm not a literate person. My partner is, but she's never read these books before. So I knew the very bare extents going into this, which I think kind of, usurps me a little bit. Also, it kind of gives it away in the marketing of what's going on here. So even if you're like, when we get into it, even if you like just literally forgot Reacher was a show and you literally clocked out since we last watched Reacher leaving New York at the end of season 2. You have not seen a single piece of content. You just realize, oh, Reacher's back, new season, here we go. Even that, like, it doesn't really surprise me a little bit, the angle they're going for this season. I think it's just kind of, because it's so, we're in season 3. That's the thing. So, like, this is very much the core of, like, if you're here already, you already know who Jack Reacher is as a character. You know his morals, you know his stances. Last season especially kind of dug a little bit more deeper on his ideals and what he's fighting for. And this season is, from now getting into the proper season premiere, I think it's more like trying to be more like season 1, kind of, where I understand where they were going for with season 2, and I think the mystery of the character is kind of like, we only know stuff in very vague details. Like, we let the book kind of, explain another piece of the component, which it does kind of continue there, and so far we haven't really seen that in season 3, or at least the hints of it. And again, it's been so long since I watched season 1 as well, so with that being in my mind, it's like, well, I know season 1 we got the flashbacks to when he was just a military kid, just kind of, jumping town to town, having to adjust to new realities every single year. And then when we get season 2, we get the backstory about his time at the 110th. The 110th? Yeah, the 110th. And it doesn't seem like we're getting much of that so far this season. I mean, again, I've only watched 1 episode. The first 3 are out. We're going to be doing this, and you're getting a new episode reviewed each day until we catch up to it by Monday. But at least where I'm seeing of it, it's very much of the core, it seems like we're just telling a Reacher story here. We're just having the character who, again, we've already spent 2 seasons kind of like getting the land of it, now kind of just seeing him do cool shit. Because it's kind of impossible. And again, if you have read the book, and there is a component where we find more about his past, okay, but at least from what I'm viewing, it doesn't seem like we're going to get flashbacks this year. And if in the next 2 episodes I'm proven totally wrong, I will slap myself on camera. And whether it's in the next 2 episodes or within the rest of the season coming up, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how very much goes. But yeah, but no, so far with this premiere, I will say is a little hand holding a little bit. Obviously, when you see the premiere, the first like the opening scene, even for me, I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit, it's kind of on the nose here, what's going on, because like already the first frame of the episode, I'm like, yeah, there's immediately something up here. There's absolutely no way we're gonna see Reacher doing this sort of thing. This is obviously clearly set up. So it's not really the best, to be honest with you, because again, when you're jumping into a third season, it's very hard to kind of paint this picture of like, this seems natural for Reacher. It doesn't. This is way out of character for him. But again, to the eyes of the new cast this season, the new supporting cast, because if you're unaware, every season is based on a new book. There's not real much carryover from like a previous season's cast to the new one. Maybe we'll get a cameo similar to what we got last year, where one of the season 1 characters showed up in season 2, even though in the book he had really no involvement there. But it was just a way to like, hey, we are a TV show. We're going to take a couple minor liberties just to kind of like feel like this is all one connective story, kind of like it's building one after the other. So for here, it does kind of make sense, but at the same time, for the context of the viewer, it's like, it's not really that surprising in terms of like, how do we set up the format? It's just, again, having Reacher going into this new corner of the world, obviously where we're going to be at for the rest of the season, and setting up those pillars is very much, interesting. It's a different approach. Again, like last season, we've been waiting for the buildup for like Reacher to meet the villain, and then this season it's kind of like, oh, Reacher's already meeting the villain, and so it kind of plays with your expectations a little bit. Like it's kind of like it keeps the show fresh. It keeps it very engaging. Whether or not they chose the books like that, they kind of like because when you do a serialized show, especially in this caliber, you don't want to bore your audience so quickly. Because again, there's like over 20 books, so when you're adapting it, you got to pick and choose kind of like, what can we bring to the table that doesn't feel like we're doing the same as we did before? Because, they are going out of order. We're not really going like a concise order of like, what every book is going to be doing. Like, in terms of the book novel releases, it's obviously spreading throughout the different Reacher timelines. You're just kind of establishing yourself in the core character. And here it's like, we are seeing a little bit of a through line here, kind of, but at least still keeping that same Reacher core where like he doesn't really like mention of like, oh yeah, like, last year I did a whole thing in New York. I threw a guy off the plane. It's not like that at all, but like definitely it's still like, you still feel like there's a little bit of like a very tiny 1% difference, but still kind of keeping the same consistency and core with the character. But at least for the premiere, I did really much enjoy it. I think besides the setup, how we got there, it was very interesting to like see this new way of setting up the core cast for the whole season, kind of seeing where do we find Reacher right now, what kind of shit is he got himself into now, and again, there's still going to be some sort of mystery component in there, and I'm very much for it. I'm very much interested to see. Obviously, there's one big thing, very big thing, I really want to talk about in a bit. But I think this has the makings for another great Reacher season, and so far, just first episode alone, I'm hooked in. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. But with all that being said, let's get into the Butcher recap. Which, if somehow you're jumping into us now, it is where I basically talk about and reviewing the entire episode, but I'm in a very broken regard because my memory sucks. But with that being said, again, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about the season 3 premiere of Reacher. So we begin in the nice, quiet a college town located in Maine, which he's still on the East Coast. He's just more above New York. Now, again, it's not clarified whether or not he went there straight after the events of New York with season 2, whether or not he kind of, wandered around. Because, he was in the Midwest for so long, and then they jumped him over to the East Coast. So whether or not that was on purpose or something, I can't really tell you 100%. But he's in town. He's got a car, which immediately is like red flag. Like, Reacher doesn't like owning anything. He doesn't like maintain. He likes to drop and go. Like, oh, toothbrush is out of bristles, gotta go. A toothpaste bottle is out of lube. Okay, I said that completely wrong. I apologize. But he's pulling up to a record shop with a basket of records, which I'm like immediately like already like it's too red flag. Like, something more is going on here. But Reacher, being knowledgeable, he has a little conversation with the staff about it. He's trying to sell off this collection, but the guy's like, yeah, I'm not buying any of this from you. I'm not buying a lick of this from you. And then he, while the shop owner is perusing the the records. He looks outside where he finds this very suspicious car, kind of like, a little nervous. The driver's kind of like trying to figure out what's going on. We cut to him looking at another car across the way, where we see another individual getting in the car, kind of like more like a pickup type of ordeal. And then the suspicious car rams into the other car, immediately starts shooting it up, throwing a flashbang grenade inside of it, and taking the main rider inside, leaving the driver incapacitated for now. Obviously, Reacher, being the man he is, whips out his revolver of all guns, immediately shoots out the tire, causes the car to crash. He shoots the driver. He immediately gets the individual out of the car, pulling him over to his car, which, again, is very much like non-Reacher etiquette. Very much so. Because if you make the comparison between Season 2 Reacher and Season 3 Reacher, like, when we were kind of in the same scenario in the opener for Season 2, like, Reacher just immediately just left the scene. He didn't really care about what happened after that. But it kind of just seems like, yeah, there's a little bit too much at play here. Immediately, once he is about to put him in the car, another individual turns the corner, and Reacher shoots at him, which turns out to be an officer, which I'm like... Again, the officer has his badge already in hand. It kind of seems out of play. Like, I'm not a law enforcement official, but I do work with cops on a very almost daily basis. So just seeing that is like so out of the ordinary, especially for a college town. It's like, no, that's too much. I could be wrong. Obviously, this kind of alerts Reacher because, again, he's not trying to get in the eyes of the legal law. So he immediately gets in the car with the kid, and they start driving away with the local college campus police chasing after them. Which I'm like, does campus police have guns? Like, at least when I went to college, I never seen the armed officers around there. I could be wrong though, 'cause I didn't pay attention to that. But I'm just like, damn, this is a quite small town. You guys got firearms? Interesting. Reacher disposes of them pretty quickly while he tries to get off the tail, trying to switch cars, trying to get the heat off them. They pull into this backside of an industrial warehouse, and Reacher finds a new car. He's trying to get in there. He's basically ready to ditch the kid. It's like, okay, I'm already on the Schitt's Creek. I'm a drifter. I don't have anything. I have no records. I have an illegal weapon on me, technically speaking. So already all of this alone is like, I do not want to be involved in here. So I think we should split here. I'm going to go get this new car, get away from here. I literally just put new stickers on this, so I have no idea why that fell. Anyway, so where are we from that? I forgot. Yeah. Okay. So where were we on that? Yeah. So Reacher's he's trying to get out of here. He's trying to. The kid's just basically like trying to say, no, you need to take me back home. Like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what to do, and which is, I really don't care. Like, again, I'm not getting in the middle of this sort of incident for anyone. I need to get out of here. And the guy's like, wait, my dad, he has connections. He has money. He can help you. You saved my life. He'll definitely want to help you out. And obviously Richard's like, no, I don't know. I really don't want to. At the same time, he's just kind of like cleaning up the side, taking his fingerprints off the doors, trying to make it as clean as possible, which I'm like, my dude, your fingerprints are already inside the vehicle itself. I think it's already too late for that. But eventually he kind of, the kid eventually kind of, convinces him, like, no, my dad is really powerful. We got generational wealth. He will take care of you if you take me back home. Eventually Richard's like, okay, fine, let's do it. Sure. So he drives him all the way across the main, I guess, I don't know, the ocean side to go to his very, very lucrative, very giant house, by the bay, by the Gulf. And they're immediately greeted by the armed security fellow at the... No. You stay. The armed security fellow who's at the gate, which his name is Paulie. Let's call him that. Big old Paulie. I've been waiting so long. I've waited over 600 reviews to say big old Paulie. I've waited so long. Okay, not really. I just like the name Paulie. And yes, you can guess. Paulie is bigger than Reacher. And oh my God, it's like... Their first scene alone was perfect because, again, we know Reacher is a character. He's always had to look down on people. We have never, in the last 16 episodes, in the last few seasons, have gotten to see him look up. It's always looked down. It's like, oh my God, it's... Because Alan Richardson is already a tall dude. He's 6 foot, I think he's 6'3", 6'4". I could be wrong on that. But like, he is a tall individual. And here, seeing a guy that's even bigger than him is like, this is so cool. This is really, really so cool. Um, yes, it's like it's oh my god. And like, we got Reacher who takes no shit. We got Paulie who takes even no more shits. Immediately like patting down Reacher, trying to look for anything to like, kick his ass. Like he's like, if I see a single knife on you, I'm ready to like put you down on the ground and kick your ass. And then the kid just kind of comes down there to defuse the situation by giving him the revolver that Reacher still had on him, and that's enough to kind of get them through. But Polly's like, I don't know. I don't like this guy. I don't like him. Like, no, like not even competition for him, but it's very much like it's not something he's comfortable with. Let's just be completely frank with you. So where do we go from here? So we cut inside the household. It's a very big household. Already got like servants' quarters and everything. Some of the servants are already eating shepherd's pie, which looks really, really good. And, Reacher is really just about ready to settle in and start eating himself. But sadly, he gets called away by the kid's dad. I think its name is, I forgot his name. It's Beck. I'm going to call him Beck for the time being. We got Beck Jr., we got Beck Sr. I know they got real names. I just already forgot the names. And if you don't know this about me, I am very forgetful about names. I already forgot the characters from season 1 and 2 already. That's not Reacher or Neagley. So, give me a while to remember to get their names on the spiel on my brain. So Reacher heads upstairs. He meets up with Mr. Beck, and immediately he's just like, "Okay, well, I appreciate you saving my son. I kind of want some more information about you. What do you need from me now?" And Reacher's just like, "Yeah, I just want to get out of town. I just don't want to, gotta lay low. Got the police on me now. I just gotta get out of here." And just making sure we're recording. He's like, "Okay. I mean, I could try to help you out with that, but again, it's a kind of mysterious of, you don't have any real credentials, you don't have an address, you don't have anything, you just happen to be by a radio, like a very armed individual like you, just happen to be in the right place at the right time." I don't know, it just seems a little odd for me, a little bit. But he decides to take the thinking over for the time being. He'll stay on site until he can decide what do we do with Reacher. But for the meantime, Reacher will just can go back downstairs and get a nice piece of shepherd's pie. But while he's being escorted out by one of the other armed individuals, he kind of peers into the kids' room again, where he sees him painting. And that's kind of when Reacher kind of gets the vibe, kind of get a little bit more explanation on the Beck family. The mom is no longer in the picture. She passed away many, many years ago. So it's kind of been the kid isolated in this household. He hasn't really done too much out there. He's just kind of like looking outside of his window, doing painting, which makes sense because he's at an art school nearby. I specifically read School of Art. So I'm like, yeah, so definitely that's kind of his area of expertise there. And, he's kind of like, just... He's content with it. I'm pretty sure it's not the life he wants, but like again, there's not really much you can do right now. To be in a place like this, be very secured in the line of business his father presumably is in. So I'm like, definitely, he doesn't have really too many big complaints. Then Reacher gets called over again by Beck Sr., who immediately went straight from the top of the house all the way to the shed of the house, which I'm like a little baffled by. Like, how did he get down there so quickly without Reacher even noticing? That's like a really good question for me to ask. So he gets escorted to like the shed of the household. He's basically like, "I ran your prints. I know who you are. You got a very, very nice military record." Obviously, his incidences in Margrave and New York are now recorded there because he tries to stay off the books with those sort of things. And yeah, no. So with that being said, though, he's very much immediately from a respect, but he's like, "Okay, you know what? A skilled individual like you, we have a bodyguard who just, no longer is on our payroll, just now no longer on our eyesight, that there's an opening. And I think maybe you would find yourself interested in joining our team. However, there is a bit of an initiation, a bit of showcasing he's got grit. He's got no second guessing about himself, as he decides to play a little game of solo Russian roulette to prove to him that Reacher is very much capable for the job. Obviously, Reacher's without hesitation a little bit, because it's like, my dude, you're planning on, what will this accomplish? Like, what happens if I get the wrong bullet and I'm dead? And he's like, "Okay, well then, we just dispose of you." That's basically it. Our lives continue. There's no stopping us if you die here or you join us. There's like nothing's gonna really change. So Reacher decides to go along with it. Thankfully, nothing happens to him. And but however, as a sign of just how Reacher is, he starts like doing it 4 more times, and he gets super lucky. Which I'm like, my dude, you made your point. Like and I knew he wasn't gonna die because the show's called Reacher, but like, damn, like you got some cojones. You got some real big cojones. So from there, I want to say from that point onwards, yeah. So yeah, he gets accepted in, but however, he's like, you're a bit of a wild maniac, and even like I forgot there was a scene, there was a moment between him and Paulie where like Reacher, like they both have military experience, but Paulie never went beyond like just regular grunt level because I guess he failed a certain exam to get a even higher promotion, and Reacher kind of calls him out on it, and the guy's got again, I think he's on fight mode. He's like, just the moment comes, when the permission comes, he's just ready to beat down Reacher. He's just ready. He's ready for that moment. He's ready to start throwing fists. I can tell in his heart he's ready to throw down. So yeah, so Reacher's in. He's in the operation. And then he's about to leave with his gun, but however, the other individual kind of takes the gun away from him, saying that, look, we already got enough with Paulie. I don't need a second, like, big, tall, hard-headed dude on the house site. So for the time being, you're not getting a gun. But he will get private quarters, which he's going to be locked into for the first night, just to prove that he's not crazy. So yeah, so he's locked in there, and so once Reacher kind of does an entire thorough look around of the area, he whips out his boot, literally, turns over the heel, and it reveals a very secret, tiny, compact phone on him, which yeah, apparently, yeah, this is an operation. This is a sting, and Reacher has successfully infiltrated the enemy territory. But however, we need context already, so we flash back a few days ago. Well, not even a few days ago, probably probably days ago, just days earlier, where Reacher is still in Maine, just in a different, more metropolitan part of it, enjoying a cup of coffee when he notices a kid kind of like, pacing back and forth at a bus stop, but doesn't really get on the buses. Eventually, Reacher kind of approaches him once he sees a woman and a child sit down next to him, and he gets in the middle of them, where Reacher kind of calls him out, like saying that, I literally seen you like miss all these buses. You got exact change on you, which again, of your generation, you wouldn't be having change right now. So I'm gonna take the wild guess you're trying to find an easy mark, get some easy cash to run away for. So, and obviously the kid doesn't really argue against him. He doesn't really even confirm it. He's just kind of like giving the quiet, like, shit, I got busted. But however, Reacher, being the sympathetic person he is at times, he gives him $100 bill and said, use this, restart your life, get a new job, and yeah, live a life of peace and prosperity. Do not try to go down this like petty criminal life. It's not worth it for anyone. Their conversation gets side-ended when Reacher spots someone coming from the other side of the block. He gets into a car. Reacher tries to approach him, but however, he fails to get him. He rings up his phone trying to contact the 110th current supervising commander. However, they're not in right now, and a lesser-known recruit answered the phone. Immediately, Reacher decides, okay, fine, you know what, fine. If you're the 110th, okay, I guess I could trust you. Kind of asking him to run some car plates, seeing what's up with him, and then while they're waiting for the car plates, the guy's like, so, you're the famous Reacher. This is an honor. And we're just like, oh, great, a fanboy. And they immediately asked about I think it was like the head bashing scene from season 2, like the backstory of it, and he's like, yeah, it's true. He's like, awesome. But like, sadly, he does not get any matches on the plates for now. The system's acting funny. So he very much is going to what's the word? He'll call him back when he does get something, and Reacher doesn't give him his personal phone number. He just says, no, just call me, just contact me at this address, and then I'll pick up the phone. We then go to a very, very, very crappy motel where Reacher is just waiting around, just waiting for the call. However, supposedly federal agents are outside the door. He immediately tries to make a getaway for it, and then as soon as he jumps out of the window, which I'm like, classic Reacher, he just doesn't know. He's just ready to escape, ready to run away. And like the shot where like he just gets his like personal pouch, the only thing he carries on him nowadays, and he just grabs his toothbrush, which I'm just like, Oh, dude, I love you. I love you so much. He's like, never forget the toothbrush. Never forget the toothbrush. If there's anything else, never forget the toothbrush. Um, so he's about to make getaway. However, another federal agent kind of cuts him off behind the motel facility. They escort him back to the pool side where they're just trying to get the gist of why they're here. I think they work for the FBI. They were working a case, and then, when the plates got ran that was matching someone they were IDing by Reacher and the 110th, they immediately got flagged, and the officer that Reacher was talking to sadly broke down like a baby and started crying and started like giving away all the information. I'm just like, great, we're never gonna see him again. But she cuts to the gist of really, they're working a case and they're just asking what is Reacher's angle on this? Why is he interested in this? Reacher obviously doesn't give anything away because he doesn't know these people. But then the newbie agent kind of gives away what's going on, kind of, and the commanding agent's like, dude, we don't tell the person who you're about to, do you know this person, the name of the person? Like, you don't do that. You're supposed to keep yourself in a level of control. He's like, sorry. But Reacher's just like, no, I don't know this guy. But however, she does give a little lay. Like, he is supposedly a rug dealer outside of a small town in Maine. Supposedly a huge big shot. However, he's making way too much money for his own good. But since he has a legal business empire, technically that's where it's explained from. And then obviously the real reason why they even is on their cross site, it's because there was a drug dealer out of LA that they were watching, but he immediately flew out all the way to Maine. So now there's like a lot of question about what LA dealer is going to go all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast to have a meeting with a rug guy. Like, it's you don't go all the way to Maine for that. Like, oh, well, maybe you could, but like it's a very slim picking that's the case right there. So they suspect something's going on, and that that they kind of need to figure out okay, and then the guy we were trailing, you ran his numbers. Why was that the case? Reacher still doesn't give anything away, but he does give a little bit of a description. Like, he did seem like he had an injury on him, sustaining with like a little bit of a fall. So he said look into recent hospital visits with an individual that happened to match those injuries. And eventually later that night, actually not leaving later that night, Reacher is trying to get some sleep shirtless, which I'm just like, cool. And he gets a call from the agent again, and she does let him know the next morning, like, yes, we ran the description. We did find someone that was within the vicinity. He got hit. He fell into cold, shallow waters. He thankfully survived, but considering the extensive longevity of the damage he took, it took a long time for him to recover. And then that he just got out recently, which matches the time when Reacher made the mark on him. They also pull his psychiatric profile. Supposedly he's claiming amnesia. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. He just maintains the same story. But however, like when Reacher's looking at the files, he just notices that, it's a little bit consistent, but at the same time, it's a little bit, a little bit too forced. So like definitely it seems like he was withholding some details during his time in the hospital. So, and then Reacher does explain that, like, okay, so the individual that you think I'm following is someone that used to work in the army, but however, he kind of went rogue for selling private government information and, trying to, make money off that. So he did all that just to, now that he's found him, right in person, he's kind of wanted to have a few choice words for him. And that's why he's kind of after them too. So, they both have a common enemy there in the same territory. So she pulls Reacher inside to kind of give him the lay of what she wants to do. She explains to them that they were close to acing this case already, but sadly, when they got the golden proof they needed to put the guy away, sadly, there was a section of land that was state property and private property. And sadly, whoever did the survey for it miscalculated it and went over the line into the private property. So even though they got the confession, they got the proof they needed, sadly, it's inadmissible because they never had the proper warrant to get that piece of evidence on that specific piece of land. So sadly, they were thrown off the case. So now they're working it off the books in an effort to still get this solved without the proper resources. So so that's kind of where they're at right now, and they want Reacher to go in undercover. And the other reason why they had another undercover informant in there, a former druggie who turned into a CI, and then was able to, like, got them some pretty big wins in the past. So once the opportunity opened up for her to, like, go into this specific avenue, see if she can get something from it, she did. She willingly agreed, and there were constant updates, and then eventually it just stopped. So definitely something more shady is going on there with that carpet business. So that's why they want to put Reacher in there and see what he can find out, since he's more than able to take care of himself. Reacher hesitates, but he'll do it. Mainly because he wants to get his end of the bargain out of the way too, trying to get that individual, that former Army officer, into his side of it, trying to see what's going on with him. So they agree to it. So now they're coming up with an entire ploy, like, how do we get Reacher in a legally convincing manner? Because it's not like he can just go up to the mansion and just like, I'm here for a job, I'm big and strong, I'm skilled. Like, it's not going to work like that. So they got to find a way to, like, how do we get him to get inside this potential criminal empire without raising a lot of suspicions? They did pull up some data. They found out that the big boss does have a son. He was previously kidnapped before at a younger age. He had, like, a big of a interrogation mishap where they chopped off a part of his ear. So that's why he's kind of got the scars from it. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to try and kidnap him again, like use that as the cover to get Reacher in. Obviously, it's not as easy as just saying that, considering the fact that, well, even, how do we get that? Like, we can't just hire, there's a lot of variables. So they do some time thinking to figure out, how do we make this a realistic effort to be able to do this? So the first thing is setting up the crime itself. One of the young agent volunteers to be the armed kidnapper. They also decide to use flashbang grenades so that it doesn't kill anyone, so they don't have any blood on their hands, but at the same time, it takes them out of it, as well as the same thing, they're going to plant drugs in the vehicle. So in the state of Maine, they can hold him indefinitely until they can figure out what's what, so that the federal agents can still have him in their possession, so that he can't go back to the other operation. So they got that portion in, so Reacher can go in, take care of him, and get him. But the other aspect of it is that, okay, but the problem is what if the kid wants to just take Reacher to the police? Like, eventually it's going to come to a point, like, just drop me off at the police station, and the whole operation fails before it even gets started. So then Reacher's like, okay, I got an idea. We take the police off the variable. We shoot a police officer, which the other agent volunteers to be the officer. So Reacher will shoot him and make it convincing enough so that the kid's like, oh shit, this is a very serious matter. 2 people on both sides are dead. I got no choice but to take him away, considering the fact that he still needs safety to get back home. So that's the plan. They even start playing around with, like, fake bullet vests to, like, spew off fake blood. They have some fun with that, trying to, like, create the MO that Reacher has to, like, kind of get him to that point there. So it was kind of like nice backstory stuff, which honestly I do appreciate them trying to get it out in the first episode. It would have been a little bit redundant to, like, come back to it later on and just kind of have, like, repeating stuff. I'd rather deal with it now so we kind of understand where we are at in this matter. There is a bit of minor flirtation between Reacher and the head agent, which I'm just like, I'm not surprised. I really am. Reacher's got that, like, those doomy eyes on him. And eventually, once they kind of get the lay of the land figured, even though it's still not 100% guaranteed that it's going to work at the end of the day, anything can go wrong between the start to the point when he's in. He's also worried about, how do we communicate? Because, like, they're going to take my phone away if I keep, like, a traditional phone on me. And she's like, I thought of that. So I made these decoy boots, which will have, like, a dummy sole that you can click open and it will reveal a phone. It's only got 14 days, so you got 2 weeks to get this case figured out before you have no contact with us. So use it wisely. Which Reacher's like, okay. And that's kind of where we get everything situated. And then we get back to where we were before the title card. And then now that they're in and everything, Reacher kind of catches them up on what he had to do and everything, and trying to get an update on the girl. And he did say when he was at the shed, he found this, like, very, like, dirt that was kind of like, like dirt that was, like, it wasn't, like, exactly natural. It was more like, it was like a cover up. So he thinks there's, like, a shed, like a secret compartment beneath there. That's could be where they're holding her. So Reacher's going to check later that night to see what's up with that cellar. So he sneaks out, which again, they purposely placed him on the highest floor of the building. So it's a little difficult for him to get off, but this is Reacher we're talking about. He easily gets out of it. He heads over to the shed quietly. He gets inside. He finds the cellar door. He opens it up. He goes down this metallic circular staircase. He does find a bed, a very dirty bed down there. and he finds the bracelet from the CI informant that wasn't there, and yeah, Reacher just says like, no, she was here, but she's not. So there's a little bit more at play here that might be going on with this case. But that was it for the season premiere of Reacher. So far, I'm very engaged. I'm very much interested. I love what Prime is doing with the whole 3 episode starter, because like, I really want to see the next episode, and I know I couldn't because like, I got to do the review, and then I'm going to come back to that and come back with the next review. So I was very much happy in that regards. Again, like my only little nitpick would be just like the whole setup of it. Again, this being a season 3 caper, us knowing Reacher very, very well, it was kind of not convincing enough to make us think that Reacher became evil. It really wasn't, because it was still Reacher, but kind of just adjacent to be able to fit into this criminal empire. So yeah, it doesn't really exactly, it didn't win me over, but just the whole setup, the explanation behind it, the backstory, that won me over. Meeting all these new characters was very interesting. Meeting Paulie was great. And yeah, no, I already like it. Again, it's the first episode. We're just getting this started. We're just, gearing up this new story, this new chapter. And I'm very much excited to see where it goes. I really much am. Alan Richardson continues to deliver as Reacher once and always, knowing how to perfectly format the character. And yeah, getting that right blend between action and just like suspense. It's really like, I knew Reacher was never going to die, but it's like, the Russian roulette suit was a nice touch, because you didn't know. It's unpredictable. It's not, well, yeah, it is scripted kind of, but like you never really know how that's going to end up turning out at the very end of it. And I'm very much curious to see where the rest of the season goes, and how do we play off these new characters? How do we delve deeper into the mystery, and how deep this is really go? What is the exact angle here with that? So I'm very excited to see more. But with all that being said, I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know down below what did you think of the season 3 premiere of Reacher. Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you find it was eh? Let me know down below. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's 2 from ActionX, reviewing the 3rd season of Reacher. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's 2 besides our Reacher episode reviews, we do rookie episode reviews each and every Tuesday, Matlock reviews each and every Thursday. Next week, Stephen Amell's back on TV. We're starting a new sub-review series with Suits LA that will be kickstarting this coming Monday. But if you don't care about Reacher, you're especially in luck. We will be back tomorrow with our episode 2 review, and then Sunday with our episode 3 review. So expect a whole weekend of Reacher from our Reacher weekend has begun. Then Reacher will continue on its new Friday time slot, because while Matlock and Reacher are releasing on the same day, we are doing Matlock first because Matlock is on a time period. Reacher is a streaming show, so Reacher will be delayed to Fridays. But at least for now, stay tuned until tomorrow. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring that bell and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.